we see forward rotated. That's in the spot where Garth's standing, so that's a spin at turn 4, and that will come from that debris that's on the road. Have a look at that. That's ridiculous.
You see it quite a lot here when the exit of turn 3, the curb's wet. But that was just a pure pitch thing where the car pitched, lost the rear tyre and spun it, and luckily kept the car off the tyre barrier at the mid-corner of 4. But we were talking about junk on the track now. It looks like a quarry out there right at the minute.
It does. I think it's a motocross track. We're looking at the replay of what happened to Bryce while you're chatting there, Garth. So he clobbered the curb pretty hard at 2 and it bounced, and then it carted him wide over 3. So 2 was wide, 3 was wider, and then the approach into 4 was messy. So he got away with it though. He kissed the tyres in the end. Let's get cracking with some Sandown SuperSprint racing action. Great conversion off the line by both the boys on the front row, and what about Frosty? Mark Winterbottom up on the outside. They are 4 wide on the run down the inside to turn 1. Frosty tries to round them up. It's Waters that is probably going to pop out the other side. Waters over Winterbottom, but only just. And Waters squeaks through by a millimetre. Dropping back into 3rd place is Whincup, and then the pole sitter's gone back into 4th, Mostert.
What a great start. Absolutely superb. Great respect between Winterbottom and Waters to get through turn 2 and turn 3 together. But what about Whincup down the inside of the lot? As we go back to Van Gisbergen, he's trading punches with David Reynolds at the end of the back straight, 265 kilometres an hour. Waters leads.
From Winterbottom and Whincup. Cold brakes, cold tyres, cold lines on the run into turn 9. Brake locking is in evidence.
Top 5
in the wall. So it's down the back of the field where the trouble begins here. So look for the Middies car. You see that Jack Smith's off the road. Bryce Fullwood is sliding. Gary Jacobson goes down the inside, and they made contact, and it fires Bryce into the weeds out there. First, second and third with only 6 laps remaining. 30 down, 0.6 of a second.
Fantastic stuff. So if you're Chaz Mostert, if we look back at Heimgartner down the inside with Davison, Percat gets through. How's the amount of mulga that has been attracted in the front of the car? 17, the front of the car there for Davison. So Percat and Heimgartner are really pressing on. Now there'll be a lot of dirt down there on the road, so Percat's in the right spot. He'll get down the inside of Heimgartner at the top of the hill. But play this out. Mostert, he'd be looking back. Oh, they've made contact! Heimgartner gets away with it. That's beautiful car control. And he ends up saving it. He went around the outside of the curb, but he got away with it.
And how this motor race has changed. He might threaten the lead here. This would be completely crazy. So he's got 0.3 of a second to Cam Waters, and he's been ridiculously strong down the bottom of the front straight. So we've got, Mark, 6.2 kilometres of racing to come. And this is the outcome at the moment. Waters over Van Gisbergen by nothing. It's almost immeasurable. Whincup and Mostert, they're now out of the picture. We were talking about them winning races a moment ago. Behind them, you've got Mark Winterbottom. And we are talking about a battle between Waters and Van Gisbergen. It would be seemingly impossible on paper earlier in the day.
You would have never considered at any point that Van Gisbergen could win today's race. They've stopped last. They come in on lap 25. He's got the freshest tyres. They made a bold move because they put 2 tyres on the rear of the car. He moves it to the inside. Cam Waters. Now, can he get around here? This is the one that we need to look at because he's doing the crisscross. He's got it done. He's able to get down the inside. Beautiful manoeuvre. And can he maintain this spot now? The crowd's gone mad in the grandstand.
Unbelievable. They are side by side on the run down to 1. Waters is trying to squeeze. There is nothing between the cars. Cam was sliding on the way in there, and here comes Whincup for a bite of this as well. Look at the grin on their faces standing in the garage. They're watching in both those garages at the moment. They dare not breathe. But Shane Van Gisbergen's got the lead of the motor race with 1 lap remaining at Sandown. Jake Kostecki's gone hunting off with the gravel down here, and he's going to stay there.
Yeah, my throttle was stuck on.
Throttle stuck. That's not good.
Flag, red flag, red flag.
That racing drivers, 2 of the worst things, throttle stuck or the brake pedal falls on the floor. 2 of those mechanical failures are the worst. There you go, you can see that. He couldn't stop the car. He did a good job to run it straight along that verge and the sand trap did a really good job in terms of the safety effect. So he couldn't get a turn. We had throttle still on the car. He'd come off the throttle, went to apply the brake, and there was still some jammed throttle action going. And it may not have been 100% throttle, but even if it's 10% throttle or 5% throttle, it's too much.
If it hangs, it's awkward. So unfortunately for Jake. And Van Gisbergen's tipped it sideways in the area between turns 3 and 4. Now, if he triggers a red flag, that's a problem. So he's focused on getting reverse. He needs to be able to try and squeeze it out of there, which is what he's trying to do. And he has to not only manoeuvre the car, he's got to jink around the traffic as well.
Well done. Very composed. He wasn't too erratic there. He wasn't too nervous. He backed it out really nicely. You can see his presence of mind. You've got to understand what the circumstances are. That is a game changer, because if he brought the red flag out, he plays no further role in the session. So he was able to back it out really gently, and that wouldn't have been nice. I was about to say a second ago, these wet conditions are good for his collarbone injury in terms of steering loads and the amount of curb usage, but hitting the fence there is not good.
And it's robbed him of a pile of time. So he's potentially vulnerable now. He does have a chunk. He's got 0.2 of a second over his own teammate. But while all that was going on, others are making ground, warming tyres, getting on with it. Here's what happened. We'll have a look at the replay. He's in behind Di Pasquale, and it was already cranked sideways over the curb at 2, trips over the turn 3 curb, and he's got it all clamped up and keeps it well off the wall. But had he not been able to back it out of there and triggered that red flag, it was a drama. Here's the replay. So it's skated on the rear brake. He's full steering lock to the left. He's already grabbed first gear on the team's radio. And this is the reason why the Coca-Cola entry, Macaulay Jones, has got some sort of terminal issue. And you can see Macaulay standing on the other side of the guardrail safely there at the moment. The SC boards are on display. So does Chaz have to give back that spot? Brad Jones is the team owner, and I can see that Garth Tander's down there, so we might understand whether there's anything that came through on the telemetry to explain what's gone on there. Replay of the start, and it was a nice job by Whincup. Looked like he got pretty much a textbook start, although Van Gisbergen's latter part of the start looked actually pretty decent. They argued about it for a while on the run into turn 1. Jamie gave him some space. They didn't rub. James Courtney ran wide. We're riding here now with Mark Winterbottom. Nice job, no wheel spin at all, just walked that away. The problem is down the inside, it all gets pretty squeezy down here.
And before he went off, he made 4 spots, Crompo. So that start that you just described, that's why he was up so far. And you can tell there the level of grip. You can see that happening between them. And Mostert has driven superbly to be able to get that car in front of the Red Bull Ampol Commodores.
So Tim Slade and David Reynolds. Double tap. And around he went. And then there was this moment we focused on as well. So that started a bit earlier for Mark Winterbottom. It slid sideways on him at turn 6, and then he didn't get the pace off it by the time he got down to the bottom of the hill and ran it wide. He kept the throttle up and was able to get out the other side, but he gave away a big ton of space. And how's this one? So Mostert runs wide in here, ploughs straight ahead, shoots through the grass, the mud, and the garbage, and wobbles back on the other side.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with that, because
this is the onboard view. I mean, there's a fair bit of guesswork going on out there at the moment as to what the grip levels may be. So lots of people battling, and I didn't see this one either. So this is Jack LeBrock pointing in the wrong direction, and it looks like it might have plucked an oil line or something off Macaulay Jones' car, so it looks very unhealthy, and he parked it off to the inside between turns 1 and 2. So a bit going on in the opening couple of laps. Just take a breath. David Reynolds back into the lane. Go-Jack's actually being applied there, so that car will go back into the garage to have a look and understand what's going on. Chad?
Yeah, left rear on this car is broken. You can see the damage from where Tim Slade got it on the rim, but it has actually broken the left rear. So they were initially hoping they'd get away with bringing it in a quick stop, but this is going back to the garage.
Yeah, where it'll stay for some time before they can deal with that. They can potentially get it back out and be classified as finishes, provided they achieve 75% of race distance, which is 27 laps, is it? So far Fastest lap of the race so far, and bonus points for Jamie Whincup, 1 minute 8.8. In fact, Jamie's done the fastest middle sector split, which is the run down the back straight. Has he got it done this time? He plummets down there.
Got to be contact.
And they touched. Oh, he's rotated him. These two have got together yet again, but this time he redresses beautifully, Moster, but they're going to lose positions. They're going to lose positions to Heimgartner. What a crazy moment in the race. Waters gets away with it. Heimgartner pickpockets a manoeuvre. Mostert loses a spot and Whincup's into the party. How was that?
That is unbelievable.
Regarding driver conduct, unfair driver conduct.
That was bad sportsmanship flag for Cam Waters, but that'll be related to something earlier. Here's the replay. So he bombs it down the inside and then tries to squeeze up on the curb. Didn't quite get it right. Tags Cam, they rotate. Chaz knows what's happened. He's cleared the throttle to try and avoid a penalty. Slows it right down, but have a look at the Marauders in the background that are about to get into the party here. So you've got Heimgartner, you've got Whincup, they're in here. So Andre splits them, and now Whincup's right in this as well. So just a couple of laps remaining as we look at the replay, and it's an 11-second margin now, Van Gisbergen to Waters. Winterbottom, Di Pasquale, Waters and Brown is your 10.
Oh, off the road goes Davison. He parks in the middle of the road. Kostecki gets by. Nice presence of mind. So does Heimgartner. Oh, and he spin it on. That spin almost wiped out his teammate. So up the inside was Anton Di Pasquale, just behind his Cam Waters.
So close to being a nose-to-nose Shell V-Power Racing incident. Sneaks on by into second place. So that car's actually quick at the moment of Reynolds. As you said, 19.9 best lap. Last lap for him was almost the same as Shane's. And how about this one? Save of the century. Unbelievable for Will Davison. He manages to not only not hit anything as he rotates down there, but as he gasses up and turns it the other way, he nearly got his teammate and got away with it.